Hello and welcome back to the EDC Squirrel. Got a special one today, and this one is a knife that I did open previously on a live stream, but I wanted to give it its own airtime and focus a little bit more on this particular knife. The reason why this one's special to me is because this is an exclusive from SMKW and Kizer. This is their Resident Evil Varatas. Now, like I said before, I did open this on a previous live. So just taking a look at the box, there's a knife itself, and you have your normal Kizer documentation as well as a nice microfiber cleaning cloth. I don't know if there was anything. Oh, you know what? Almost forgot. We do have a sticker. I was going to say, where was my sticker? And we do even have some extra screws, which is something that I always love to see from Kizer, from any manufacturer, really. So let's get that all back in the box. And like I mentioned before, this is called the Varatas. Now, I don't have this model. This is the first Varatas that I've gotten. And again, this is also an exclusive from SMKW or smkw.com. It's got, as far as I understand, it's going to be the same exact Varatas model as any other, only with the Resident Evil graphic that you see on the knife itself. Now, before we go any further, let's get some specifics out of the way. First of all, this is going to have a blade length of 3.25 inches, with the blade being done in Nitro V steel. It's going to be a drop point profile, and it's also going to be a plain edge. Now, the handle obviously is done in red, black, and white in Resident Evil graphics. It is a G10. The scales are made of G10, and the overall length of this one is going to be 7.66 inches when opened, with a closed length of 4.41 inches. And also in terms of blade finish, it's going to be coated in titanium. Now, I don't see a weight on this one, at least not on SMKW's website. If I would assume it's going to be the same weight as any other Kizer Varatas. Let me take a look at Kizer's website. I am getting a weight of 3.49 ounces. So there we go. Okay, so let's take a closer at this particular one. Now, again, this is probably the fastest impulse buy I've ever done on a knife, because I'm a big fan of Resident Evil. And coupled with that fact that I haven't had one of Kizer's Varatas knives yet, I had to give it a good, quick look. And yeah, I kind of pulled the trigger on that pretty darn quickly. Now, as you can see here, the blade... wow, I lost my words. To use the blade, we got thumb holes. We have thumb holes as well as a front flipper. And wow, both of them work pretty darn well. Nice and snappy. Very easy to reverse flick. Very easy to use that front flipper as well. Good access to the thumb hole because of this nice cutout in the scales. Now, with it closed, I am seeing that the blade is nested perfectly centered in there. And with the blade open, let's see here. I'm not feeling any movement on the blade, either left or right, up or down. So nice lockup on this one. It is a liner lock, and it's pretty easy to unlock the blade using the thumb, or using the pad of my thumb. I don't have to dig my nail in there, which is really, really nice. Kind of saves my thumbnail from getting really messed up like I've done in other knives. Really smooth and snappy action on this one. You got some jimping on the back here, give you some grip on your thumb, and you have a pretty decent finger choil, allowing you to choke up on that blade, getting real nice precise control over that. Again, the blade itself is coated in titanium. So while it is Nitro V steel, that should also help in regards to corrosion protection. Nitro V steel, being a stainless steel, does fine on its own, but nice titanium coating will help a long way in making sure it remains pretty darn clean. Now, we do have on the blade Kizer's logo. There's the branding there. On the other side, we have Nitro V by the pivot. And if I understand, that's Mr. Lundquist's logo on that side. And a little closer look at the Resident Evil graphics here. Pretty darn cool. I've been a fan of Resident Evil for a very long time, so this was kind of a no-brainer for me, especially since I didn't have this model knife before from Kizer, and I really like Kizer knives. So really cool graphic on the blade. We have a bit of a red. We have a bit of a backliner done in red to match the aesthetics. The pocket clip is deep carry and relatively flat, which is what I like, and I love how they flatten it out towards the end, so that should help it from snagging anything. It should help keep it from snagging anything when you have it in your pocket. Now, I do wish that the pocket clip was inset, but it is reversible, as you can see there. And with the thumb holes and the front flipper, makes this almost completely ambidextrous. Again, minus the liner lock on this one. But nice, smooth movement, nice, snappy lockup, and even on the closing, good detent on this one. I really love how easy it is to use the front flipper, because front flippers tend to be a favorite of mine. I love front flippers because I like how a lot of times the lines of knives that have front flippers tend to be pretty nice and clean, which this seems to be right there, with nothing like really jutting out in other directions. So it keeps the lines of this pretty squared and clean, in my opinion. And Kizer's done a pretty good job with their front flipper on this, so I don't really have to think too hard to use it. I'm not fighting to position my hand in the right way. As soon as I pick it up, I can go ahead and utilize that front flipper without even really thinking about it. Of course, with the thumb holes, pretty snappy with that as well. Whether you go with a reverse flick or using your thumb. Now, the grip itself, relatively neutral, aside from this giant cutout for your finger. But the rest of the handle is pretty neutral. I can get a nice gorilla grip on that one, and using it in different grips, it's not too uncomfortable or awkward. The pocket clip being nice and low, I don't really feel it. I mean, I can feel it in the back of my knuckles, but it's not uncomfortable in any way. And when I hold the knife how I normally would, it practically disappears. I can still feel that tip there a little bit, but it's just letting me know that it's there. It's not uncomfortable. I don't feel like it's going to really create a hot spot. If I hold it in this fashion, it's not noticeable at all. And again, I can choke up really nicely on this blade. Really precise control over my cutting, which I really, really like. Now let's see how the edge is on this one. Will this be able to save my life in the event of a zombie apocalypse? If all the zombies were made out of magazine paper. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, they did a good job with the finishing on this edge. A really nice factory edge on this. That swims through this paper without a problem. Nice, crisp, and clean edges on this. All the way from choil to tip. Oop, there we go. Now, I know I'm messing up there. Let's see if I can recover. There we go. The thing with magazine paper is it tears so easily. And a lot of times, it's not even the knife. A lot of times, it's me. Because it's very unforgiving, as you can see there. Very unforgiving. So if I don't cut through it right, it tears. Almost regardless of how good the edge can be. In this case, the edge is actually really nice. And I can tell by feel and by sound, there's very little resistance as I'm going through that paper. And looking closely, I can see that the edges on those cuts are nice and smooth and crisp. I'm not really seeing any tearing along the cut, maybe just a hair, but otherwise they're really nice and clean. Let's take a look at that edge again. Little bit of debris on the edge, but nothing that I normally see on even some of the sharpest knives that I've had. So really well done factory edge on this one. Nearly all the Kizers I've had have been absolutely awesome in terms of their edge finishing. This isn't any exception. So really nice finish on that one. So I could probably even shave hair. I'm realizing some of my hair is finally growing back from previous testing. Now, yeah, I can do a decent job of shaving the hair off my arm and skin, apparently. Wow, my skin is dry. Ah! Have to put some lotion on. So, pretty good edge on that. I'm pretty impressed with it. Now, this one, because it's an exclusive, the standard Varatas, which comes in, it looks like I've seen it in G10 and Ultim, or no, that's PEI. But they're going to normally run you between $55.20 to, looks here, $63.20 on Kizer's website. Now, again, this is an exclusive only through SMKW. So if you look at SMKW, this one's going to run you at approximately $69 from their website. And at the time of this video, is still currently in stock. So if you're a big fan of Resident Evil, again, this has probably been one of the quickest impulse buys in regards to knives I've ever done, because I myself am a great fan of it. And this is a pretty nice knife. Nice and snappy, comfortable in the hand. I get good control over that blade. Really good finishing job on that edge from the factory. A very usable and easy to use front flipper makes this nice and fidgety and really fun. And very easy to spidey flick. Very accessible thumb holes on this one. And I do like the fact that you can flip that pocket clip over in case you're left-handed. They're not left completely out of the dark. I just kind of wish, I don't know how difficult with me being right-handed, I don't know how difficult it is for left-handers to use the liner lock, but at the very least, the majority of this is pretty ambidextrous. So really impressive knife. I love the fact that they came out with a Resident Evil exclusive. I know they have other knives that they've come out recently that are exclusives with SMKW. I think they call it their gaming series. There's a Red Dead Drop Bear that they came out with. I remember seeing a Halo fixed blade from Kizer and SMKW as well. Be sure to check out SMKW's website to check out all their exclusives. But yeah, I had to hop onto this one. Awesome, awesome knife, awesome graphic. And like I said, big fan of Resident Evil. I couldn't stay away from this. I do believe that this would do well in helping me during the eventual zombie apocalypse. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you for all your support. If you haven't yet, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you'll be notified as soon as a new video drops. And I really appreciate all your support on my channel, and really hope that you guys are enjoying. But thanks again for watching, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.